Welcome to CC Writes. My name is CC Lepke, and today, 1 is a party, 3 is a crowd, and your story with 18 major characters is a nightmare that I'm here to help you overcome. You have a horde of characters in your story to contend with, and it probably feels like a royal mess. But you may be surprised to find that you already have the skills and know-how to make it work. So I'm not going to give you a brand new writing tool to workshop and master. I am going to show you how to use literary tools that you already use on a regular basis to tackle this literary jigsaw puzzle. Let's get started. This may or may not be news to you, but people have an innate understanding of what makes a story good. We've been consuming stories our whole lives, and humans have a unique skill that helps us survive and adapt to just about any environment. Pattern recognition, and an encyclopedic knowledge of our favorite movie quotes, but mostly that first thing. So here's the good news. Because you're human, probably, you already have the only skill you need to write a story with an ensemble cast, a basic understanding of plot. If you feel a little shaky on that, then go ahead and check out my video where I use Dan Harmon's plot circle to plot a story. It should give you a nice structure to work with if you don't already have one of your own. We can use plot to tell the overarching story of a world, we can use plot to tell the overarching story of a character, and we can use plot to tell the overarching story of a second character, and a third, and an 18th if it comes to that. When I create a story with multiple characters, I create a plot line for the world at large, a separate plot line for the main character, and then more plot lines for each and every character of importance that comes after that. For example, let's say I wanted to make a gender bender version of the Three Musketeers. I would write out all the plots like this. The bright side is that doing it this way creates a lot of information that you can use for your story. It means that every single character is fully fleshed out, and they'll come across as real people when you write them. You're creating plots, subplots, character arcs, and so many juicy twists and turns that your readers are going to be swept along in the adventure. Or at the very least, not confused. On the downside, well, your notes are going to look like this. Yes, writing that much is tedious. Yes, looking at all of those separate plots is a bit overwhelming. And yes, I'm asking you to set aside any delusions you might have of flying by the seat of your pants. You shouldn't fly that way anyway. It's dangerous. Your pants might rip. But please don't stop here, because there's one more step that we need to take to turn this big ol' mess into a lovely, well-organized tool for writing success. We need to consolidate, which means more writing. Sorry about that. To consolidate, first, take your world's plot line and put it onto an outline structure like you would have scribbled together at the end of your high school writing classes after you'd already finished writing your paper. You remember those. Here's what my Three Musketeers story looks like. Next, add in the plot points for each of your characters in the appropriate sections. Eventually, your note should look something like this. Wow, beautiful, right? Also, really easy to follow along. If some of your characters don't show up until later on, you can adjust their plot lines to fit within the time they're allotted by comparing their plot line to other characters' plot lines. That way you'll know who they affect and in what way. Once you've got that information, you can group together their plot points within the overarching story's plot, like this. Bippity boppity booyah, you have got a story and a clear idea of what each of your characters should be doing at every single point in time. Bonus, this method can work no matter how many characters you have to keep track of in your story, and no matter how many books worth of content you want to create. Just try not to get carpal tunnel with all the writing I'm making you do. And that is all there is to it. If you follow this method, you should now have a fully realized plot with an ensemble cast using skills that you already had at your disposal. Thank you so much for joining me today on CC Writes. I hope you enjoyed our time together. If you want more writing how-to videos from me, then check out the top video, or if you're a rebel, pick the bottom video to see what YouTube recommends. Until then, I'll see you later.